Hi everyone, welcome along to today's Life Words video. My name's Keith and I'm the Admin and Finance Officer at New Youth for Christ, and you also see me behind the scenes at events doing some practical stuff as well. Welcome to today's video. We're carrying on our journey through the Gospel of Mark, and today we're doing Mark chapter 6 verses 45 to 56, and we're following on from Eric's video yesterday where he was sharing about the feeding of the 5,000. So we picked the story up immediately after the feeding of the 5,000 is finished and Jesus has dispersed the crowd. So what Jesus does first is he tells his disciples to get into a boat and to go across the lake, which is the Sea of Galilee, to go across the lake to the next place that they're going to be. But he himself takes himself away into the hills to pray alone. And I thought that was very interesting for us because, you know, we think of Jesus being the Son of God, and just like we almost think he's got a direct line to God all the time. But sometimes Jesus just liked to go off on his own to pray and to think and just to communicate with his Father. And you know, I think that speaks to us as well, that if Jesus would do it as the Son of God, even though he had all that power at his control and in his fingertips, if Jesus would go away and spend time in prayer and think it was important to pray on your own and be on your own and spend time with God, then I think that should say the same to us as well. Now, not always easy, but you know, let's try together to pray more and to spend time separately with God. But while Jesus is away praying, he sends the disciples off across the lake in a boat, and it says in their weather report that it's choppy weather. The wind is against them when they're rowing, and they're rowing across the lake. And it says that evening came and Jesus came, and it was about it says in the verse it was about the fourth watch of the night. So I've done a little bit of research, and a watch in that time was about 3 hours. So the fourth watch would be hours 10 to 12. So they've been a while on the lake trying to row across. And it also says that commentators believe that the disciples have got about 3 miles across the lake. So in all that time they'd only managed to row 3 miles across the lake. They were about halfway across. So what Jesus does being Jesus, he walks out across the water to them. And it says in this passage that when the disciples saw him, they were scared. Well, you'd be scared too, wouldn't you? Imagine if you're out in a boat and then suddenly you see someone walking on the water through all the storm and the wind that's going on. You'd be scared too. Jesus then says, "Don't worry guys, it's me." Gets on the boat, the storm calms, and the disciples are all amazed. You think, why are they amazed? Don't they know by now that that what Jesus can do? But they were amazed, and I think that speaks to us as well in our lives, because there are times in our lives, if anybody says to you that being a Christian is always easy, then ignore them, because it's not. Being a Christian doesn't make your life any easier. Sometimes it can make it harder. And it can seem to us that we're going through our own storms and our own choppy seas, and we're struggling against the wind, and we just seem to be pushing all the time, and we're in trouble, we're rocking around, and we just don't know where we are in life. And sometimes Jesus needs to come alongside, and we need to recognize who Jesus is. And when we invite Jesus in and he comes in, then everything appears to be calm and settled. It may not be the problems are resolved, but with Jesus on our side, we can put things into perspective and take some comfort from the fact that Jesus is with us. So I think that's a good thing to draw from the thing about the storm. And the end of this passage, it does say that they reached the side safely, and there's a big crowd there gathering. Word of mouth has spread now about Jesus and all the miracles he's doing, and the things he's claiming to be. And people are coming to hear him speak and to be prayed for and to see people being healed. So the word on Jesus is spreading. Hopefully we can help spread the word of Jesus too to our friends and people that we know. So there you go, there's today's passage for us to think about. As I said, please read it in your Bible. If you've got any questions or comments, please, wherever you're watching on, please put in a comment in below or contact us in some way. We'd love to hear from you. But join us again tomorrow for the next part of Mark's Gospel, where we go to chapter 7. Thank you. Bye.